chosen.
All right, good morning, everyone. Hello, good morning, Brattleboro. Thank you so much for showing up today. On behalf of Brattleboro Indivisible, I want to welcome you all to the Hands Off 2025 National Day of Action. I'm Jessica Lockey. I'm one of several leaders of Brattleboro Indivisible, the Brattleboro chapter of the national org. And across the country, hundreds of thousands of people are showing up today at events just like this one. We're united in a simple but urgent demand: hands off our rights and our democracy. This presidential administration is advancing a dangerous and damaging agenda, one that has already gutted many of the essential services and programs that people in our own community rely on every day. So we're here today to say, first, I just really quickly want to give a huge thanks to all the members of Brattleboro Indivisible, especially Sage and Katie and everyone who supported. They did an incredible amount of work just in the last 2 weeks to pull this huge event together. I also want to thank our co-sponsor, 5051, the Center Congregational Church, for offering their space and support, the Brattleboro Police Department, the Fire Department, all of our speakers, our volunteers, and of course, all of you who showed up on this gorgeous spring day to say hands off our democracy. And now it's a huge privilege to introduce Vermont's fearless representative who's been taking this fight head on behalf of all of us, our Congresswoman and Brattleboro's own Becca Balint.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's good to be home. It's good to be home in Brattleboro. You know, the last time I gave a speech, we were being pelted with ice pellets. So actually, this is an improvement. So thanks for coming out today. Thank you so much. It's so important that we are joining our voices with people across this state and across the nation, and all the expats around the world are also holding rallies today overseas. You are not alone. You are not alone. And it matters. It matters to show up. A lot of people ask me, does it even matter if we take to the streets? Absolutely. We have to work these muscles. We have to show other people what it looks like to stand up for this democracy. So thank you so much for turning out today. In this moment, we desperately need all of us to find our bravery and find our courage. And when we find that bravery, it shines a light for other people. And they find a little bit more courage. And they find a little bit more hope. And that's what we need right now. As you know, many of us are feeling angry. We're feeling anxious. We're worried about the state of our nation. And I know all too many folks are feeling paralyzed by the sheer number of things that are coming at us. I get it. I really do. But we can't let ourselves give in to paralysis. We can't let ourselves give in to that sense of hopelessness, because that's what they're counting on. That's why it's so exciting to see all of you out here today. So, How do we get beyond that feeling of hopelessness? How do we get focused? How do we get energized? That's right, we sure do. We fight, and we get our energy from each other. And so the other day, I'm sure many of you saw it, on the floor of the U.S. Senate, we saw Cory Booker, Senator Cory Booker, holding the floor for over 25 hours in opposition to this administration. And it was poetic justice, because the last man to hold the record was segregationist Strom Thurmond. So to have Cory Booker be able to stand up as a black man on the floor of the House, rather the Senate, I wish he were in the House with me, in the Senate, to say, no, this is not what this country is about. It gave me courage. And then when we saw what happened in Wisconsin, with that Supreme Court justice race, Elon Musk spent $25 million. The millions didn't win, the many won. The many people who showed up. Those are the moments we have to hold on to, because I know we're getting a lot of bad news every day. So when you see something positive happening, when you see these signs that people are coming together, you have to lift them up, and you have to let that give you more courage. And we are also winning in the courts. That's what I want you to know. Time after time after time, these executive orders are being struck down. The ways in which the president is trying to seize more power for the executive branch, it's being struck down. So don't let them convince you that they're going to win this. We have the power in our hands right now, and that's also why it's so important that we don't lose hope. I know these wins feel very small in comparison to what we're up against. I know. And many of you have said to me, I don't know what to focus on. There are just too many things coming at me. Here's the ask I have for you. You have to focus on the one thing that is most important to you. You have to become an expert at it. Is it Veterans Affairs? Is it Social Security? Is it due process? Is this what's happening in our judiciary right now? Pick your one thing, because you're not going to pick the same thing as the person next to you. And together, we will cover all of the things we need to be focused on. If you try to focus on everything at once, you will become overwhelmed and you will lose your hope. So I need a commitment from everyone right now. It's not enough just to show up online. It's not enough even just to show up out here. You've got to understand that knowledge right now is the most power that we have to wield. And we have to learn what's happening and how we defeat it, and then we have to use our voices in places that are uncomfortable. You can't just talk to the people who agree with you. You can't. We have got to show up in uncomfortable conversations with our families, with our friends, with our community members, because it is not, I see the sign, it's not about left or right. It is not about Republican or Democrat. It is about our nation. It is about our democracy, and it takes all of us. So please, make that commitment to yourselves right now that you're going to do that. Can I hear that commitment? The other commitment I need is that you're going to keep checking back in. So many people have checked out. Now, people will say to me, I am so glad that you are my representative, which feels good. That feels good to hear it, but then the next sentence is always, because that means I don't have to pay attention to this nonsense. Oh, that is the wrong message. That is the wrong message. I am one tiny woman. I need us all to check back in, okay? So, things are bleak right now in D.C. You see it from where you sit. I'm telling you, it's even uglier up close. It's even worse than you can imagine. We have a president who has shown his pettiness and his vindictiveness from the moment he was sworn in. We have seen him using executive orders to violate the Constitution. We have seen this administration literally disappearing people off the street right now with no due process. It's terrifying. He demands public bootlicking for everyone around him. We have a cabinet full of yes men and yes women, most of whom are entirely unqualified for the jobs that they hold. Don't talk to me about DEI. Don't talk to me about special privileges. All of these people have been promoted far and above their ability. And we have Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, meddling in Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, laying off veterans, firing people who look after Ebola and the bird flu. It is no mistake that we are feeling like they're actually trying to kill us. It sure feels that way. So look, he's got his hands in every agency you can imagine, and I have colleagues, Republican colleagues, who are doing nothing about it. They have completely and totally given up their power. That's what we say to them on the floor of the House. Why are you giving up your power to one man? No kings in this country, no dictators in this country. We have three branches for a reason. And when I see my Republican colleagues giving up their power of the purse, giving up their oversight of the courts, it is shocking. I never thought I would see that in my lifetime. So look, they're going to keep creating chaos. They're going to keep driving the fear. That is the strategy. It is not an accident. But I need you. I need you to push through the fear. I need you to tap into your rage. I need you to tap into your rage and then turn that anger into commitment and focus. People keep asking me, how are you doing it? How are you showing up every day with these people who are trying to dismantle the democracy? I have turned my rage into a fierce focus, and I need all of you to do the same thing. We have to use our voices every single day and say, hands off our Medicaid, hands off our Social Security, hands off our jobs, hands off our wallets, hands off our data, hands off our courts, hands off our free speech, hands off our schools, hands off our libraries, hands off our bodies. They need to keep their hands out of our science, out of our universities. Hands off our rights. Hands off our freedoms. Hands off our liberties. So find your courage. Dig deep. Find your voice. And I know that in those moments of courageousness and bravery, you are not going to be standing alone. You're going to be standing with people across the country, and you will be standing with me, because I will be down in Washington, D.C., feeling your courage, feeling your rage, feeling your focus. And I know that I am not alone, that you have my back. And here's what I know for sure. And this is also something I think about every single day. There is no one person or one action or one event that is going to get us through this. There isn't. It is going to be our collective work. Do what you can when you can. Show up. Give each other grace. Keep the main thing the main thing. Pulling together as a broad group of Americans, students, retirees, veterans, workers of all kinds, those feeling hopeful, those feeling hopeless, those who've checked out because they don't know where to get their energy from. All of us here today, we are the energy. We are the movement. We, collectively, are going to fight back against this darkness. Hands off. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. I will tell you, I wish I could march with you. I actually, believe it or not, I got to get up to Middlebury to do another event. But I am with you in spirit. Thank you.
Another huge round of applause for Becca. Is Dan DeWalt here? If you're here, then come up. All right, everyone, so now we're going to transition into the march. So there's a few ways this is going to go. The most important thing is we cannot block traffic. We cannot go onto the street. We need to stay on the sidewalk and wait for the crosswalk lights to go, okay? So please be respectful of the traffic lights. There's obviously a lot of people here. We're going to spread out, so if you just want to head straight to the common now, go out that way and walk up to the common, the park where the gazebo is. The rest of you are going to follow Dan's band here. We got a marching band to lead the way. We're going to go down the street, around through the Harmony lot, and then back up. So everyone can kind of disperse, pick your route, but again, please stay off the streets and do not block traffic. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to our marshal, Dan.
Thank you. You know, I've heard people talk about this phrase before, but now I know. This is what democracy looks like, people. You know, it's only been 3 months that we've been building our power. And today, in every state of the union, in over 1,000 towns and cities, in over 20 towns and cities in Vermont, we are all standing together. There will be 1 million Americans on the streets today. And this day will be remembered as the day that the Trump tyranny met its first stumbling block. And then too soon, Trump MAGA zealots are kidnapping people of color because of their sporting apparel or their tattoos. They have vowed to come after every one of us who are speaking out against the genocide in Gaza, and they won't stop there. But we, the people, will stop them. We won't cave like Columbia University or like Harvard University or the craven white shoe law firms that value billable hours more than they value the Constitution or the rule of law. Or we won't cower in our offices like so many. Luckily, we have a pretty decent representative group of people. But in so many places in this country, the so-called opposition are cowering in their office, not knowing what to do. Yeah. So, I am pleased to tell you that today, in its inaugural performance, we will be bolstered by the People's Resistance Street Band. Because, although we now face a dangerous and difficult road ahead, we will do so with a spring in our step, joy on our countenance, and love in our hearts. We will prevail. So, one of the things we're going to do, one of the songs we're going to play has a part for everyone to sing it. And I imagine most of you have heard this song. It's a great resistance anthem by Peter Tosh called Get Up, Stand Up. So the chorus, band, lead us off. I'm going to teach you the chorus, and we're all going to sing the chorus. Get up, stand up. And we'll sing together. And whenever you hear us playing this, and you're in earshot, sing with us, and it goes, get up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Again, get up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Let's hear you now. That's right. Oh yeah. Don't give up the fight. Let's march. Keep singing.
covering designed it. The covering. I'll be back. She's really covering designed it. The covering. I'll be back.
No idea, but it's great.
Should somebody try to? Well, it's a lot. It's hundreds.
Trump and Elon have to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Trump and Elon have to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Trump and Elon have to go. Hey, hey.
That's standing by the water, we shall not be moved. Try it again. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the water, we shall not be moved. This is an old hymn, and it was typical for hymns to be picked up by various movements. They're picked up by the Wobblies, picked up by the trade unions, the Civil Rights Movement. Pete Seeger sang it, and now it's a similar time. These words were handed to me, and I bet you can sing them.
Put the mic right by your mouth.
Hey, Donald, you shall be removed. Hey, Donald, you shall be removed. Just like the scum that's floating on the water, you shall be removed. You shall be removed. You shall be removed. Just like the scum that's floating on the water, you shall be removed. Musk is not our leader. Musk is not our leader. He shall be removed. Musk is not our leader. He shall be removed. Just like the scum that's floating on the water, he shall be removed. He's stealing Grandma's Medicaid. He shall be removed. He's stealing Grandma's Medicaid. He shall be removed. Just like the scum that's floating on the water, he shall be removed. He shall be removed. He shall be removed. Just like the scum that's floating on the water, he shall be removed. One more. He shall be removed. He shall be removed. Just like the scum that's floating on the water, he shall be removed. You're sounding pretty good.
Test. All right. Okay, is this good? Is that a little, yeah, you might want to turn it up a little bit. My voice isn't very loud. I wrote this song a few years ago, actually, and I never sang it, and it seemed like a good time to start singing it now. So I think you'll recognize the tune. It's based on an old hymn, and you probably heard the hymn in Brother, Where Art Thou? So here it goes. Well, I went down to the river today, thinking about that old American way, and then I heard a voice say, please, oh please, show us the way. Oh, mothers, yes we can, rise up singing, yes we can. Oh, fathers, yes we can, rise, show us the way. Well, I went down to the valley today, thinking about an old American flag, and who shall raise the stars and stripes? Oh, please show us the way. Oh, sisters, yes we can, stand together, yes we can. Oh, brothers, yes we can, stand, show us the way. Well, I went down to the city today, thinking about an old American way. How I have a voice again, and I show us the way. Oh, children, yes we can, change the future, yes we can. Oh, children, yes we can, change, show us the way. One more time. Oh, children, yes we can, change the future, yes we can. Oh, children, yes we can, change, show us the way.
She wrote that.
Keep singing it. I have lyrics if you want them. Come get them and you can sing it.
Hello, Brattleboro. I have a little warm-up activity for you because it's a cold, wet day. This is what the people do in South America in the stadiums when they're fighting dictatorship. You have to jump up and down, and I want to see some serious air under everybody's feet. So repeat with me. And the chant is, if you don't jump, you're Donald Trump, okay? Ready? I want to see a lot of jumping. We should make an earthquake. 1, 2, 3. If you don't jump, you're Donald Trump. 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 You can share that message all over the country. Thank you.
I'm normally a very quiet person, but this is not the time to be quiet. So I want to take a moment and just look at you. Look at everyone just for a moment. Look. There's my baby girl. I never thought that I would need to stand up here and try to save democracy, which says a whole lot about my inner sense of naivety. But it also means that I'm very grateful to be standing up here saving it with all of you. I am Katie Alloway, and I am a queer, cis, white mom, originally from Laramie, Wyoming. I have called Vermont and Brattleboro home for the last 7 years. And I am here also as a representative of Brattleboro Indivisible. We are your rally hosts alongside 5051 and Brattleboro Area Action. So thank you all for bringing this together today. You are the biggest rally Brattleboro has ever seen. So,
So, a couple of things. There is an info table over here on the right. So if you would like to learn more, or you need a Band-Aid, or you need any assistance at all today, please do feel welcome to go talk to the nice people at the right. They are selling resist signs at cost, so please go get one. Our group is really here as an action-oriented group. We formed 2 months ago. At our first meeting, there were 10 of us. At our second meeting, there were 40. At our third, well, now there are all of you. It is truly amazing what a small group of people can do when they come together towards a common purpose. It's almost like the point of the federal government. So I used to give speeches, and my lip would quiver, and my hands would shake. I was so afraid of the crowd. That was before I had better places to put my fear. I run a national database that collects the protected information of domestic violence and sexual assault survivors across the nation. We serve over 266 organizations across 38 states and over 1 million survivors and their children. Over the last 4 years, I and my phenomenal team have done everything we can to protect this data. Never did I imagine that I would need to protect it from the government of the United States. This data, if breached, would cause irreparable harm to survivors and their families. Not only that data, but we have seen over the last few months a targeted effort to dismantle the movement to end violence as a whole. We have seen entire departments like the Rape Prevention Education Department at the CDC eliminated this week. This week they also fired the Family Violence Protection Services Office Director. And we have seen an 85% cut in HUD funding and staffing over the last 2 months. These organizations provide life-saving services to survivors and their families. And I am here to say no. You cannot ban the word woman. You cannot ban the words LGBTQ, transgender, or black. We know in the data, and I see it every day, that these folks are the people most at risk of harm. And so I'm here to say no, you cannot steal my story or the stories of the million survivors I serve. I am a woman, I am a victim, I am queer, and I will not be silenced. I have no shame. You cannot have my body or the futures of my children, for they will be so bright. I asked my son what he would want to hear from me if he could hear anything. He's 11. And he says, I just want to know what you're going to do. I want to know what you're going to do about it, Mom. So, my love, we're going to gather, and we're going to make some noise! We're going to support each other, and we're going to laugh and sing and dance in the rain. We're going to resist, and we're going to organize with spreadsheets and surveys and protests. And together we're going to follow the artists in our community, and we're going to dream. We're going to dream of the world as we know it can be. And together we're going to once again throw off the talons of tyranny. So it's going to take all of us. It's going to take your voices, and it's going to take your actions, and it's going to take your bodies. we're going to need you to rest, and we're going to need you to take good care, and then we're going to need you to act. I'm here with Brattleboro Indivisible, and we are ready to shake things up. The fierce love, radical hope, and limitless belonging. To all of you, and together we will build and rebuild our democracy. And to survivors, I want you to know that you're not alone. We have learned our worth. We know our power. And together, we say, hands up! Hands up!
Hands up!
Hands up!
Hands up!
We're not going to stop. Okay, I have a couple of announcements. You all have been amazing.
You're amazing!
Thank you so much. So again, at the info table, there are signs, there's information about how to join up. We really do need you. We are 2 months old, and we have a whole lot to do moving forward. So please, give us what you can. You matter and you can make a difference, and we really do need your support. A couple of safety things. Please stay off the streets. After we're done, we've got a couple more speakers here, but make sure that you're following the crosswalks and the lights and being respectful of each other. Clean up after yourselves. If you need water, we have some extra water. We've got Band-Aids for you. There are people with green armbands, so if you need anything, you can find them and they'll be able to help you out. Okay, I think, is Ian here? Ian? Ian is here. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. Now, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, who someone has been personally impacted by the funding cuts. He is a resident of Windham County, and I'm very excited to welcome Ian Hefele. Thank you, everyone.
All right, hi everybody. So my name is Ian, and last time I was in this gazebo, it was a very different experience. It was my wedding right here. So thank you, Brattleboro, for that wonderful memory. I had a completely different speech prepared last night, but then I heard that Doge made its way into the Peace Corps headquarters last night. I don't think they heard you in D.C. Let's go. So again, my name is Ian Hefele, and I'm a returned Peace Corps volunteer from Mozambique. Let me see a show of hands. It's Brattleboro. There has to be some RPCVs out there. Get those hands high. Hands off. Hands off the Peace Corps. It's amazing, really, how closely related Peace Corps is with Brattleboro and Vermont. Did you know Vermont has the highest number of returned Peace Corps volunteers per capita? The first training site for Peace Corps. Right up the road. Right up the road. Because nothing like 3 months in Vermont gets you ready for living in the bush of Africa. But you know, the training site right up the road began by saying you learn to live together by living together. So that, like Becca said earlier today, we have to get out into those uncomfortable conversations, and we have to keep talking. We have to keep rallying, because both Peace Corps and Vermont and Brattleboro teach us the importance of community. And in the words of Harvey Milk here, hope will never be silent. Hope will never be silent because you know, Vermont gave me the opportunity to dream. I remember as a closeted gay teenager in Connecticut, hearing about civil unions in Vermont, hearing about Vermont just letting people live and letting people be who they are. So the idea of building a family for the closeted teenager in Connecticut was just a pipe dream. But Vermont, you made it a reality for me, and I am so grateful. So, I ask of you, because of the Peace Corps, sorry my flag got a little wet out there, but hey, we fight on. So, because of the Peace Corps, thank you very much. Because of the Peace Corps, because of Brattleboro, I know the importance of community, and my notes are getting wicked soggy right now. So I ask you, Brattleboro, I ask you, Vermont, please help pay this community forward, pay it forward, extend a hand to people out there and those who come here to build a community, build a new life like I have done, like you have done for me, for my family. Because if you told the gay teenager in Connecticut that I would be able to get married here publicly, I remember that day in 2010, I was standing right here with people here in front of us, and there were honks and cheers right here, and I said, I want to live in a town that says, okay, yes, celebrate love, celebrate life, celebrate community. So just like you have welcomed my family, helped us build a family, we adopted 2 kids here. As we build that family, as we build community, if you see someone who has come from away, whether it's the flatlands of New England like myself, or a little further afield, or somewhere internationally, extend a hand and ask them their name, welcome them, have coffee with them. I want to leave you with a quote from a Republican president. Don't worry, it's not the current one. This was said over 100 years ago, and it is inscribed in our state house in Montpelier. It's what got me through the first go-round of this. I had it on my refrigerator, and I'm going to read it to you now. I love Vermont because of her hills and her valleys, her scenery and invigorating climate. But most of all, for her indomitable people. They are a group of pioneers who have almost beggared themselves to serve others. If the spirit of liberty should vanish in other places of the Union, and support for our institutions should languish, it could be replenished from the generous store held by the people of this brave little state of Vermont. So, in true fashion, as they taught me in Peace Corps, there's a call and response. And this is a Southern African call and response for protests, for government, for people power. There are 2 I want to say. You may know some. The first one, I say Amantla, you say Awetu. So Amandla, Awetu. Amandla, Awetu. That means power to the people. And then the second one is particular in Mozambique, and I heard it from Mozambique this morning when I said what I was doing to my friends and colleagues down there. A luta continua, which means the fight continues. I say a luta, you say continua. Aluta. Continua. Aluta. Continua. Thank you, Brattleboro. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Okay, our next speaker, I'm very excited to introduce you to Elizabeth Bridgewater from Windsor Housing Trust.
Wow, what an amazing crowd, Brattleboro. Woo! Hello, friends. So I'm here to tell you something you already know. We are experiencing the biggest bait and switch that this country has ever seen. This slash and burn approach isn't about efficiency. It isn't about making America great again. It's about consolidating money and power for the elite of this world. And whose money are they consolidating? Our money! Do you know that 1 in 5 people in Vermont are employed by a nonprofit? That's 20% of Vermont's workforce. 70% of Vermont nonprofits rely on government funding. That's a lot of people whose jobs are in a vulnerable place right now. And what do these nonprofits do? They provide vital services in our community: health care, education, healthy food for our children, and my dear love, housing services. I'm part of a network of nonprofit housing providers. We collectively provide homes to over 5,000 households throughout the state of Vermont. We've helped thousands of first-time home buyers make home ownership a reality. Yes, right? We help seniors and homeowners fund critical home repairs so they can live in safe and healthy conditions and gracefully age at home. And we provide a pathway out of homelessness. These are examples of our money at work, our money that is being redirected into the pockets of people that already have what they need. They already have so much. So, that's right. So here's what's at stake. If federal housing dollars go away, less housing is going to be built in Vermont. And this is at a time when we desperately need more housing. There was a recent study that said we need 30,000 more homes over the next 10 years to meet the need. And Brattleboro's got their own study and it's 500, so we've got a long way to go. Don't be fooled by the narrative that the private sector is going to fill the gap. I'll tell you, and it's not because the private sector is doing anything wrong, it's because the math doesn't work. Vermont's economy is made up of a lot of low-wage workers, and construction costs are rising, and those two things don't add up. The only way for a private sector developer to cover their costs is to charge very high rents. And so if housing subsidies go away, so do modest rents for modest income people. Thank you. What else is at stake? If federal housing vouchers go away, we will see a rise of homelessness in this community and all over Vermont. And that's because vouchers help people pay a portion of their rent. This is a significant safety net for seniors living on Social Security income or disability income, or for low-wage job, people in low-wage jobs that provide vital services in our community. If federal housing vouchers go away, it'll also destabilize the property budgets for all the non-housing housing providers and the private sector housing providers that are relying on those vouchers for rent. Let's talk about state funds. Can the state fill the gap? No. Unfortunately, we already know that's not true. Our state legislators are already in a very painful position of trying to make choices about what's going to get funded and what's not. And there's no way that we can make up the difference in federal funding at the state level. It's tempting to make taxes the enemy. This is the time of year where we're paying our taxes, and people like to grouse about it, right? I'll admit, I've groused about paying taxes. But this is our collective giving, though. This is how we collectively meet the service needs of our community. It's our taxes that helps a child with a disability have low-cost health care. It's our collective giving that enables a low-wage Vermonter to afford a home. It's our collective giving that fixes our seniors' roofs when they're now living on a fixed income. And it's our collective giving that helps people find a pathway out of homelessness. Never before have we seen the power and value of this system of collective giving called taxes. And for what? It's not for efficiency, and it's certainly not for greatness. So what can we do? Coming together in protest is good, right? Becca talked about this. It's a way to build community, bolster our spirits. It's a way to gather our collective courage and keep our energy high. I'm also inspired by our congressional delegation in Washington. I spent the week there this week talking with them in person. And the thing that struck me was their different personalities and styles. We just heard from Representative Ballant, who, when we met in her office in DC, she immediately started talking about strategy. She immediately started talking about how to build coalitions with people from other communities. She immediately said to me, Elizabeth, don't worry about being perfect. Show up and speak up. That's what I'm doing today. Senator Sanders, what is he doing? He's all over the country using his platform to show up and speak up. He's giving a younger generation a seat at the table. He's not trying to crowd, himself and get all the glory. He's bringing other people along with him. And what is Senator Welch doing? He's using his across-the-aisle history to build relationships with Republicans. He talked about the HUD secretary and how they know each other and how he's going to try to get him up to Vermont to see what a housing system in Vermont looks like. As we said in DC, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And we have a tremendous impact in this community, and we want everybody to see it. I share this because we need all of these strategies, all of these styles. We need the loud voices and we need the quiet conversations, the relationship builders and the disruptors. And we need to talk to people who may have voted for this administration, but they didn't vote for this outcome, right? We need to talk to those people. We need to bring them back. We need to find common ground. If we're going to move forward, we need to find common ground. My common ground is housing, and I'm saying, hands off our housing resources. Hands off! Hands off! Hands off! Hands off! Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Before somebody else speaks, somebody's going to try to get home today and have a little trouble. Come see me if you're missing your car keys. Thank you, George.
All right, we are almost done. This has been phenomenal to be a part of. I am so proud to live in Brattleboro. And right before the speech, I was handed this letter. And someone was like, hey, there's this letter. Do you want to read it? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think that we have time. And after reading the letter, we have time. So we're going to take some time to read this letter together. After that, we're going to disperse. You're welcome to stay around and wave flags and be loud. Stay on the streets. Oh, Lee, you're here. Great. I didn't see. We have one more speaker. All right, Lee, I will welcome you. I'm going to read this letter since I'm talking about it, and then we'll welcome Lee right on up. Okay, so this is to the senators. I don't know if I can do this. Is weird. All right. How about that? Okay, dear Senator, I am writing to you because I am scared of what will happen if Trump and Musk move forward with their Project 2025 agenda. I am 64 years old, and I've been working my whole life. I have never collected unemployment. I have never been on welfare, and I have paid my taxes for my whole life. In 2017, I was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. The average lifespan for ALS patients is 3 to 5 years after being diagnosed. I've had this disease for almost 8 years, and I am lucky the progression of my disease is slower than average. In the past 7 years, I have grown from walking with a cane to walking with 2 canes to walking with a walker and finally to using a wheelchair. A wheelchair that I could not possibly afford or use if not for Medicare. I have lost my ability to speak, which I consider to be the hardest part of my ALS diagnosis. I now use a communication device that I control with my eyes. This allows me to take part in conversations and, in fact, to write letters such as this one. This communication device was also covered by Medicare. I am also a participant of Choices for Care program provided through long-term Medicaid. Choices for Care provides me with home care. I desperately need this care, my only alternative being to live in a nursing home away from family and friends. Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security let me hire my caregiver at a small fraction of the cost of a nursing home and allow me the basic needs that are essential to my survival. I am very worried that the new administration will make cuts to these programs as outlined in the proposed Republican budget. I have paid into these programs my whole life, and I depend on these programs for simple, basic survival. Please take a moment to imagine what it would be like to live in my position. You will quickly realize what matters. What makes life worth living is quality of life. I can absolutely attribute the quality of my life to Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. I consider myself lucky to have seen my son marry since my diagnosis. And I've been fortunate enough to meet my 2 grandsons, both since my diagnosis. I have been blessed with family and people around who care and help me. I'm afraid that with this new administration, I will no longer receive the care that my life depends on. Please do everything within your power to make sure vital programs remain in place throughout the new administration and beyond. I am just one voice, one story, but there are millions of Americans who depend on these programs for their basic survival. This letter is anonymous. There are copies. There are copies here if you'd like to distribute. I don't see a name on it, so it is an anonymous author who could not be here with us today. So thank you all for listening to his letter. All right. Very excited to welcome Lee from Food Connects. Thank you so much for joining us.
That's a lot of people.
So, thanks for having me. I'm Lee. I'm the interim director of Food Connects. Yeah, I'm here to talk about food. So I'm here to talk about food and to discuss how DOJ's funding cuts impact Food Connects, and more importantly, how they hurt our farmers, all of our access to local foods, and our children's health. You may not have heard of Food Connects, but you have definitely been impacted by our work. We connect the dots between local farms and consumers so that those farms can stay in business, and so that consumers like you and me, and especially our kids, can have access to local nutritious foods. We work as a wholesale food distributor, and we work with schools to make sure that kids understand why an apple grown in Putney tastes a heck of a lot better than one driven across the country. Imagine a packed school cafeteria, kids' trays filled with apples from Green Mountain Orchards, milk from Miller Farm, lettuce from Harlow, and meat from Boyden. Now imagine that same cafeteria, trays are filled with waxy red apples from an unknown source in Washington State, greens from California, meat from an unknown source in Brazil. You get that picture. It's less vibrant, less connected, unfamiliar, and anonymous. And that's the reality these cuts are creating. About half of Food Connects' work revolves around connecting kids with their local food. Universal school meals are a vital link to childhood nutrition. school meals feed 60,000 children in Vermont every single week, providing more than half of their calorie intake. What we feed our kids and teach them about their food affects their health, how they grow, how they learn, and how they'll feed their own families. It all begins with school meals. But why do local foods matter so much? There's health, nutrition, environment, local economy. But in the world we're living in right now, what's critical to know is that local food systems are more resilient to supply chain disruptions like major weather events, pandemics, and foodborne illness outbreaks. During the height of the COVID pandemic, when national food supply chains struggled to keep shelves stocked, local food actors like Food Connects filled those gaps and kept communities fed. Investing in local foods is adaptive and smart. In March alone, the USDA canceled over $1,670 million supporting local food, farmers, and childhood nutrition. That's $1 billion in funding to help food banks and food hubs distribute local foods to low-income households. That's $660 million ensuring local foods are in school cafeterias, and that's $10 million connecting kids to their local foods and farms. For Food Connects, this translates into nearly $400,000 in funds lost this year alone, and that's 20% of our budget. These are funds that were paid for by us, taxpayers, and allocated to us by the representatives we elected. Canceling them is not only unconstitutional, it's an attack on our access to local nutritious food. It's an attack on our ability to connect our children to food grown in their own region. And it's an attack on farmers who depend on local markets to survive. This is an attack on our Vermont values, our neighbors, and our local economy. A UVM study showed that for every dollar spent on local foods, $1.60 goes back into the Vermont economy. That is an efficient return. If these Doge cuts were really about efficiency, Doge got their math wrong. So, if you can take a couple messages away from this speech, let it be these. When the government fails to provide for its citizens, communities need to step up to support each other. So what can we do? 1, advocate for statewide policies like universal school meals that safeguard childhood nutrition. Sign the petition urging the USDA to reinstate these critical programs. And I think a couple of my coworkers are floating around, there's one right now, with QRs to connect you to that petition. Lastly, buy local. Even if it's just replacing a few items on your grocery list with local options, those small choices make a difference. Use your dollars to support your neighboring farmers and businesses that feed you and your kids. Thank you.
All right, we are done with our programming today. I bet you all want to go to the bathroom and eat food and get out of the rain. I am honored to have been here with you all, so thank you so much for showing up. Saige's mom is calling, so I'm going to hang up on her real quick. All right. Okay, so there is a resistance 2 at the Brilliant Hearts. If you want to go, you can go there at 2. Otherwise, we're going to disperse peacefully as we have done such a great job for the rest of the day. And George here has something to say before we leave.
Let's have one more to send us out, all right? You've heard this before. We shall not give up the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. We shall not give up the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. Come on, try it. We shall not give up the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. We shall not give up the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. Together we'll have victory. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. Together we'll have victory. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. Never ever put the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. Never ever put the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started.
Thank you, Wilder.